Hey y'all, I'm here to discuss 3 tips to help with stability for entrepreneurship. 2 things entrepreneurs struggle with are time management and self-discipline. Tip number 1, treat it like a business. The first week I spent working part-time for myself, I took care of certification letters, insurance, and all these other things that pop up in the mail that I never get a chance to address. And then the week went by and I'm like, I did no writing, which was the reason that I went part-time. So if you think about when you go to work, you have set hours and you have expected outcomes for those hours. Those are the same things you need to have for yourself. How many hours are you going to put into your business this week? How many of those hours are going to be spent writing or responding to emails or reaching out to venues? And then at the end of your week, Friday, Saturday, evaluate those hours, because if they're not done, then guess what you're going to be doing all day Saturday? Finishing your hours. So don't give yourself the leeway to have this new mindset when it comes to working for yourself. Use what you learned in working for somebody else and apply that to your business. Treat it like a business. Things have to get done. Tip number 2, think outside the box when it comes to expenses. One of the interviewees from this week discussed how he had a summer camp every year. But this year, he looked at the organizations that funded the venue where he usually hosts his events. And by reaching out to those organizations and connecting with them, he was able to get his summer camp fully funded. And he was able to pay the people who help him run the summer camp. That's not something he would have been able to do out of pocket immediately. But by branching out and thinking outside of the box, he was able to look at grants and organizations that had programs that he qualified for. Additionally, he also talked about how you could just get sponsorships to pay for certain costs, whether it be drinks or food items. So don't think that you have to take on all the expenses yourself. Look at what you apply for. Talk to other entrepreneurs in the field and ask about their resources. It helps. Tip number 3, take time to build a business mindset. You have to acknowledge what you don't know. As creatives, it's so easy for us to want to spend time working on content or writing or doing whatever it is that we love. But if we want to make a living out of this, if we seriously want to be business-minded people, then we got to pour into the areas that we lack. So that could mean sitting down with your partner or sitting down with a strategy team and figuring out what is the next step. What are you currently doing? What has worked? What needs to work differently in order to be effective? How are you going to change and evolve with the times? Or it could simply mean copywriting your materials and finding sites where they could be marketed. For me, I've been doing curriculum work for the last 2 years, and recently when I was talking to a friend about it, they were like, why don't you have that on Teachers Pay Teachers? People are looking for curriculums that are willing to pay X amount for it. Meanwhile, I'm just creating and doing all this stuff for free. So every time you create, you need to spend just as much time, if not more time, pausing, figuring out how you can monetize it, the best way to monetize and market it, and what you can do with it to truly build a business for yourself. I'm going to pause there. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to this week's interviewees, J.R. Morris of Encore Entertainment and KP Ultra of 2 Pens and Lent. They were so helpful and so informative. You can check out the full blog at jazzthepoet.com/blog-1, and all of their contact information and my blog information will be in the description below.